Hey everybody, how we doing today?
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
Kevin?
All right. So last week's episode, we've had a few comments that said that they think that episode kind of jumped the shark a little bit. I read it as more like you did, as
Yeah.
more optimistic than anything else.
Overly so. I don't think jumping the shark is quite the right phrase I would use, but definitely it was the one that was like, this one went the farthest into that world of incredulity of like best case scenarios happening.
Sure.
Toby gets up one morning, realizes that one senator is not going to run again, who's secretly been an advocate for Social Security reform, and manages to put together a deal between the left and the right, that saves Social Security.
Yeah.
Which is a fight that is still going on.
Sure.
It was quite a wild take. I mean, I get that this show always does the idealized White House a little bit, and it was done well. It wasn't like I wasn't watching like saying, "Come on, this sounds dumb," like you guys are going way too far. But when you take the package as whole, we said it when we got into the episode. Wow, was that an optimistic look at what politics can be? A little bit farther than reality that time.
I was gonna say maybe not the most realistic episode,
right?
In the Sorkin era, I mean, they stretch reality a little bit. I mean, with Zoe being kidnapped,
Well, yeah.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen. I'm just saying, it's not the most realistic show all the time.
No, I agree. Like the dialogue's not realistic. Yeah, I am too. But I feel like the show when it does an issue show, which is most of them, right?
Yeah.
I feel like they've generally done a good job of like sometimes these issues end badly, right? We had the one with the pardons not long ago, where they, for political expediency, couldn't release a kid who ended up taking a pretty drastic, tragic, had a tragic end, right? So why have the happy ending on the Social Security one? I think that's an interesting choice to not just say we tried and it didn't work because no one can agree on this, which is still the case. You know what I mean? So I think putting the happy bow on that episode was a different choice for the show.
For sure.
For something that was such a big swing.
And we need the happy endings every once in a while. Otherwise, it's just depressing.
Sure. But that was usually when they had the happy endings, it's on something plausible.
Sure.
That's a big swing. So I didn't dislike the episode. When we got done, I was like, I never for once felt like this felt like reality on this particular one.
And maybe it's because, when it came out weekly, everyone's like, okay, we
need to do it. Yeah, we need to. Yeah,
we're ingesting it all. You know what I mean? So it's
absolutely.
It's kind of
it was still incredibly well written and executed.
Yeah.
Richard Schiff still crushed it
back there
as he always does. But it was definitely a bigger leap of verisimilitude than most episodes.
Yeah.
All right, we do want to go and jump into it, guys. I'd like to thank all of our Patreon subscribers for being here with us. I'd like to give a special shout out to Actuarial Lurker, Alice Fuldes, Chris, Jeff, NJ, Christy Goverston, Surigunda Varapu, Weird Magic, and Torgir Lingstad. Thank you so much, guys. We are very happy here with us.
Yes, we are. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you might hit the like button for us, please leave us a comment down below. Hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we've coming your way.
If you would like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. On every show, including The West Wing, we are at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we are on YouTube. So if you get done watching the YouTube edits and want to keep going, you can do it on our Patreon. Yes, you will have to sync and watch along on your own source material. You will only see us for copyright purposes. Yeah. We're also watching a 31, so Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Will against Toby episode again. Maybe. Right? Maybe Will's going to be like, what have I done?
I wonder if we ever get there.
Right. It's quite possible. I kind of like the idea of Will running his campaign, though, when the new election season starts.
I can see that.
You sure?
It's the telltale double flash.
All atmospheric detonations produce that unique signature, sir. The Russians and the Chinese have satellite detection capability for an atmospheric new dead.
Nuclear detonation, sir.
Terrifying.
There's a new member of the club.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
It is a huge deal, yeah. I'm going to have to rewatch Oppenheimer later.
So, I'm kind of curious who it's going to be.
Whoever this was, they knew we'd pick it up.
Likely suspects. North Koreans or Iran.
Yeah.
They've both been heading down this road. We just didn't know either gotten this far.
That actor, was that Betty's dad on Mad Men?
I think it is, yeah.
Gene.
You go from trying to get rid of these weapons altogether to holding your breath one doesn't go off on your watch. Check another goal off the list.
This order as soon as I get back. Why am I even meeting with some geeks from NASA?
I'm sure they're not geeks. I'm sure they're not all geeks.
Don't be hating on NASA.
Yeah, they're very important.
God.
An atmospheric nuclear detonation was detected by a DSP satellite over the Indian Ocean.
Pakistan being provocative, shot across the bow sort of thing.
It wasn't Pakistan. If you'll just let me finish,
Yeah.
no nation has claimed credit. We're trying to ascertain who was responsible.
Is India mobilizing?
It was 1,200 miles from India. India has no idea that it happened.
Oh my God, man. You're not giving me confidence here, Bob. Let me start over.
Yeah.
Rhinos?
Endangered species, powdered horn considered an aphrodisiac.
Right wing's new name for GOP members who voted with us.
Yeah, it's a
They're being
slam.
targeted in the primaries. And,
We're happy to stay out of that particular slap fight in the
Rhinos?
schoolyard.
Rhinos are Republicans in name only. People that are too liberal for the hardcore right.
Got it.
What I know is politics, public perception, and the image of NASA is not good. The only time NASA makes the front page anymore is when something goes wrong. You need to get off the front page.
That would have irritated the ever crap out of me if I was one of those people, honestly.
What?
Yeah.
Chinese have no indication North Korea did this.
Beijing feels comfortable ruling out North Korea. Given the volatility of the region, a secret test would be how Iran would certainly proceed.
Have the Iranian ambassador to the UN fly down and meet with you at the Swiss embassy immediately.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you all.
Steve,
Do you have a response to Taylor Reid? On his new cable show last night, you were named Chicken of the Week.
North Korea's nuclear facilities and weapons are stored in tunnels a half mile underground, unreachable by air power.
And Iran?
There are available nuclear targets for airstrikes.
The downside is a potential retaliatory nuclear strike at Israel.
Big risks here. You certainly don't want to get wrong who you're looking for, too.
NASA's lost purpose, but the problem isn't getting off the front page, it's getting back on. Mars or bust. We want the government to commit to a manned mission to Mars.
There aren't 20 votes for it in Congress.
Until you get a good look at what's up there, you only think you're prepared. Pick you up at 8.
Josh has a date.
Yeah.
With the pretty NASA lady.
Yeah. I'm jealous. I love space.
would you be going if she weren't attractive?
No.
We'll never know. Oh, I got the vice president to policy focus.
Great.
That's actually really nice.
Good government.
Not that chestnut.
I mean, what does he expect him to do? It's Bob Russell who keeps showing us he's an idiot.
We were wrong about Bob.
I thought he was going to rise to the occasion. They kind of sold it that way, but he has not.
Double down on his
Yeah.
Taylor Reid show thing, Chicken of the Week.
Get me a copy of the show.
Right. Just like, fine, I'll watch your dumb show.
But I'm sure it's like some Tim Pool nonsense crap anyway. It's like, it's beneath her.
Yeah.
Iran, then. General?
Surgical airstrikes on enrichment sites.
Which ones?
All 5.
I don't
We
know
go
if it is
the
that
minute.
at this point. It seems like
I
a
mean the
misdirect.
minute we're certain.
Sure.
Thank you
Well,
all.
at least they're waiting till they're certain, for sure.
It's easy to characterize junkets as vacations at taxpayers' expense, but they serve a purpose. Contacts get made, frank exchanges take place. Sir? Will you excuse me?
Yeah, of course, sir.
Does he have a brilliant idea?
I doubt it.
And when
Maybe,
you work
who
for a
knows?
man
I
who's the
don't know.
president who's got what I think you could
Is that Jay
generously
Moore?
characterize as a casual relationship.
It
with
sounds
the
like
truth.
him.
When
It looked
your
like him, too.
job-
I want a piece of that twerp.
You can't win.
I'd mop
Yeah.
the floor with him. Smirk first.
You just keep it alive.
Yeah.
I think he's completely right. It is beneath her.
You don't have to do it. Let him talk.
It's like when Aaron Rodgers wants doctors to come argue with him about vaccines. Shut up, quarterback.
You need to have the same experience 9-year-olds are having all across the country tonight.
I had it.
That's cool.
I had one.
Yeah.
Are they
It was awesome.
ruining their shoes, too?
Well, Josh is in whiny mode today, isn't he?
I was convinced as a 9-year-old you could see the flag on the moon. And I used to always point trying to find it.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
I guess Joni Mitchell was right. We are stardust.
Or put another way, nuclear waste.
I was on a congressional junket to the Mideast last year. Wound up at a party on a boat cruising the Mediterranean and drunkenly mused he hoped they weren't puking on one of their nuclear subs. And the official's country was Israel.
Tell the Israeli ambassador to get his prime minister on a plane. I want him in the Oval Office by noon.
Yes, sir.
But honestly, Bob came in clutch there.
Yeah, he really did. And what he was saying about junkets being important actually came out true.
I'm sure Leo's wondering how it is I know so much about all this. Colorado Plateau is this country's leading source of uranium.
I don't like he enjoyed that at all.
I hope we see more of a turn for him.
Yeah.
No, because it feels bad for them to just be punching down on Bob all the time.
Tell me about going to Mars.
Right here?
Yeah.
I think it'd be amazing in my lifetime if we go to Mars. That'd be awesome.
Some terrible choices have had to be made in this room.
Yeah.
None more agonizing than Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Would you have made the same decision Truman made?
To defend Japan itself, they've mobilized 2.5 million, with a civilian militia of 30 million more. Another is that after Potsdam, Truman wanted Stalin to know we had the bomb and we were willing to use it.
You hate that I'm interested in this.
What was your first hint?
It's perfect. Sit down. I need to play out an argument.
I like that they do this too.
Yeah.
Like, let's work through our ideas.
We could do something else. Something generous and uplifting for all humankind. Voyager, in case it's ever encountered by extraterrestrials, is carrying photos of life on Earth, greetings in 55 languages, including dark was the night, cold was the ground, by 20s bluesman Blind Willie Johnson. He died penniless of pneumonia after sleeping bundled in wet newspapers. But his music just left the solar system.
The United States' ideal number of nuclear weapon states is 1.
Well, obviously.
We are 6 million, surrounded by 200 million. Iran will become a nuclear state.
It's telling that the physicists involved with the creation of these weapons became the most fervent opponents of their use.
We bomb, then they nuke, then we nuke. We need a better plan.
Probably true. He's right.
Wow. This is a brilliant episode.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That was really well done.
Yeah, chilling.
All the way across the board.
That was great.
No, it really was.
Yeah, I mean, I look to the future, but in reality, here we are, this mess. I love the scene too where he says there's a reason the acronym is MAD.
Yeah.
So true, Also, I like the scene with Charlie and Jed, with the president, talking about, like, if you were in that position, would you be able to do it?
He never came up with an answer, did he?
He did not. Also, different tune than what we saw in Oppenheimer last year.
Right.
Obviously they did not portray Truman in a good light at all. And
Right.
they also portrayed that scene as, like, they've already lost. We dropped it anyway. So to have them say here this actually did save lives in many ways.
Well, I think they address that in Oppenheimer too, because it is the argument that, first off, no one's right. When people argue about this, no one is right. Everyone takes their stance like anything else, but no one's right. Yeah, the bombs killed a lot of civilians. It's terrible to drop a nuclear bomb on somebody.
For sure.
Also, so many more people would have died if they didn't, and it became a full-on invasion all the way through Tokyo. Right?
Yeah.
So many more people would have died. There's not an easy answer. Nuclear bombs are bad. They also saved lives in that instance, and probably other instances, because no one wants to roll up on a country that has them.
100%.
That's why it was a Cold War and not a war.
Yeah, and I like that we're also watching the Americans.
Sure.
And they touch on this. Obviously, we had several episodes that have
Right.
gotten very close, and it is very existential reality.
Right.
Think about it, it's terrifying, and I don't really, like you said, have an answer for it. It sucks that they exist in general.
Sure. But I think most people worldwide have come to the understanding, with the exception of the really crazies, right?
For sure.
That using one is just a bad idea
not
all
the
the way
best interest
around.
for anybody.
Yeah, exactly. It's just wrong.
For sure.
So now that they do exist, and maybe they do help keep large superpowers in line a little bit, for the most part, now it is a game of whack-a-mole where it's like the people that might actually be crazy, we just really now we're busy working on keeping them from getting one.
Yeah, and also have to shout out Bob again. This episode, we're like, Bob's an idiot, and then actually was kind of the hero of the episode. Not saying that he's not still, I don't want to say incapable, but he has his moments for sure.
Yeah, this is the first one. They've finally given Bob a win. And
much needed.
Right, because he hasn't looked great in the past, and he certainly didn't look great in the first half of this episode, where Toby's like, I need you to stop talking and listening to me, because everything you're saying is dumb.
Yeah. It's nice that, he has the experience of like going to these junkets and stuff, and if he wasn't there, then we would have bombed. Was it Iran?
Possibly. I mean, they said they weren't going to go until they knew for sure, but they wouldn't have gotten their answer.
Yeah.
It was going to be way too close. I do think it's interesting, and I thought it was really kind of cool to get our first look at maybe Will and Bob aren't on the same page, and Will is realizing that he's not actually going to be able to tell Bob what to do all the time.
And Bob's like, I'm a team player.
Right.
What they say.
Yeah, and I think that that's a really important step for Will, because it's clear and has been from the beginning that Will considers himself and is a lot smarter than Bob. And so I feel like that Will's thought, oh, let's just be able to push him around to what he needs to do because I'm going to drag this guy who's not up to the task along.
Yeah.
And now he's seeing that there's a little bit of pushback from Bob. I think that's a good dynamic to see at this point.
Yeah.
Right. We'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.